Hi everyone. So I'm just taking a look at the exponential summary, which some of you went and did on Desmos. And I see that there's a couple of things that people missed. So I've anonymized, so you're not going to see actual student names on here. But one is that nobody chose an exponential function is always concave up. And that is actually always true. An exponential function of the form a times b to the t or a times b to the x or whatever, where a is positive and b is greater than 0 will always be concave up. So, and that's what we're talking about when we define an exponential function in this class. This one, some of you chose correctly, that we're noticing that the 5 is the vertical intercept, and that the exponential function is increasing when b is greater than 1. This one you guys missed, which is that the output from an exponential function of this form or of any form is always positive. And you see that because your exponential functions are always going to show up above the x-axis. And so when my function is above the x-axis, then for whatever input I put in, my output is always going to be positive because I only have positive y's as possible outputs. This one you chose correctly. This one you have to be careful. For a decreasing exponential function, as the input gets bigger and bigger, the output will not get more and more negative. The output instead gets closer and closer to 0. So for a decreasing exponential function, as the input gets bigger and bigger, the output is getting closer and closer to 0. And then the last one, sorry, I need to hide that down there. The last one we need to look at is that this graph is a graph of an exponential function. It's actually not. So although it's concave up, you can't determine that that's actually an exponential function. That in fact isn't. I graphed it and it's not an exponential function. So there are just a couple things I wanted you guys to take a look at on there. Please feel free to let me know if you have any questions.